Welcome back to Finnegan's Farm, welcome back to the YouTube channel, and welcome back to Workshop Wednesday. My name is Paul, and this is our team.
Hello, I'm Mick, and I'm the mechanic.
Hello, I'm Kaylem Russell, and I'm the mechanic.
Hello, I'm Sean, I'm the apprentice mechanic.
Hello, my name is Marco. I love to weld. This is Bruce, this is Blake. Them two best students.
Don't forget to like, subscribe to the videos, and comment if you want, and we will get back. In for repair today, we have our John Deere 7810, we have our Grimme 430 planter, we also have our 6930 along with our Scanstone Ridger, and a few extra bits there for the workshop. We bought some new equipment there in the DeWalt and the Lincoln. A quick shout out there to Ronan Nairney from Sligo there, who's having an operation on the 29th this Wednesday or next Wednesday in Crumlin there, sent in from Farah Nairney there as well. So I know you're a big fan of the channel there, Ronan. So from over here at Finnegan's Farm, we wish you all the best and get better soon. Take care. So I just see my planter in for repair, so we're going to head over to Kaylem there and see where he's at. We have our 240 in here with the Grimme, the 430 planter. Now we have a few little small jobs to do, nothing major on it, but one thing I did notice from last year is that I ended up with no cameras at the end of the year. Now they weren't that critical because they're the ones that's out towards where the wheel is there, and there was one for the hopper, which that one was working, but the other two weren't. Yeah. But we did find a bit of an issue here with a cable, didn't we, Killum?
Yeah, so just here, and it's in behind the shroud, and now it got got caught on something last year. You remember that yourself, and you drive.
Well, yeah, I think it was driver error, I have to admit, but it was under a time when it was under pressure and pulled the wrong lever, and it shot this throbber across, which puts it into the transfer position. But what happened then was it caught this eye here, so we actually take that eye off it because it serves no purpose anyway, except that it does get caught. So yeah, we found out that we had three wires going, which is your 3 cameras, and that was the problem. And they're a very fine wire, aren't they?
Yeah, no, they're very small. Generally, myself and Mick, red terminals and the crimpers would be the way to go with them. But they weren't working out for us at all. Like, no matter we doubled it up and everything, and we couldn't get them to sit right at all. But I have these little crimps that I got before. You don't actually need any crimper tool for them. All you need is a lighter. So they have solder, that's actually, I'll just show the big one for. So they have solder here now in the middle, which will melt at a very low heat. So a lighter is enough to melt them. And then they have 2 little ends at the end, which will crimp onto your insulation once you have it put down onto it.
Yeah, and they are very sturdy. You wouldn't pull them asunder anyway. That's one thing for sure.
No, and they go down very small. Like there's a white, because you have your general red, yellow, blue, but these are white ones, which are even smaller again.
For the camera cable.
Perfect for that. So that was really it. And the actual Grimme cameras themselves weren't working, but that was only a fuse.
Yeah, a fuse gone on the board. Mick found that one out. Now we did change our wheels as well there, so we're back onto the 380s there, the 380 9050s there. And they're ideal there for planting, just nice and narrow but good and tall, plenty of clearance on them. After that then it's not really much to do, just make sure your radio phones are working and
all the basics, lights,
light screen, yeah, that's it. And we just have overall to give a bit of grease and a little bit of weather now would help as well if we got it.
I think that's what we're looking at the minute.
Make a difference, but looking out there, it's been wet and looks like another wet week ahead of us, but we will be ready to go, just the fine details now, and that's it. We have a little bit of work going on here with the 6930. These are the two these are the 2 base units that we have got. They are, I think they're pilot, yeah. They're not a grammar base, but they're a pilot base, and we got them there from Seat Systems in around the €500 mark. To buy a seat like this would possibly cost you over €1,000, an awful lot more maybe, because it has a swivel on it, and we need the swivel, especially when we're working the stoners there, to be able to get round to work the controls here. So we decided we'd go for these. Haven't tried them before. A little bit of retrofitting on them, wasn't it, Sean?
That's a wee bit, yeah, but you're going to have that anyway.
Yeah, the holes just didn't match exactly. Well, the front 2 did, but the back 2 didn't.
No.
So you're going to have to use the template off the old seat to pull it up again to drill out the new hole. Now we used a die grinder, and that was probably the easiest way, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So Sean's background here used to fit seats in buses. So
back to me nightmare.
So he's back to his original plan. So he's this one to fit, and then you have another one on the 7810 to fit.
7810's done.
Is there much? I see you there with the console. Is there
yeah,
much?
You think the console out, well, it's easier to get the seat head instead of maybe busting the window or scraping.
Yeah. So we whip the seat out the back, and it's always easier and to put the console back on it there.
Yeah.
And then you can see there is some difference because the seat in that was
hanging out.
Was hanging out there. So this one is for Kaylem, so he'll be sitting back there, really
Might wire the heating on full now. So.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Keep them warm.
Good man, all right. So we got a delivery in here from EPT in Carlow. They do a range of the DeWalt, they do a good range of a lot of tools across the board, but we ordered up some bit of a deal going here. We have an impact wrench there. We also have a 5-inch grinder, and we also have a blower. So yeah, it comes with, the deal comes, it's €500, that's without the blower because we bought that separate, €500, and you'll get your impact, you'll get the grinder, bare unit grinder, you get 3 batteries, which is, I don't know, there's a bit of a difference in 2 of the batteries here, but we're not just sure. One is a power stack and the other is just a lithium-ion 5 amp. Could never have enough batteries anyway, if I can get it out of it now. There we go. So that's a smaller battery there than that. Comes with a charger there as well. So for all that, for about €500, you'll get all that. Carry case, the whole lot. Great job. When you do get your grinders around like that, don't forget to, you have a 3-year warranty with them, guarantee them, register them there, put it online there, and you'll always have it there. Always very handy to have, because these sometimes can give a bit of an issue, and sometimes you can give a bit of an issue. So yeah, no harm to get it registered. Up next we have the Steyr, the 6300 Terriers there on the Ridge out. That tractor was actually on the, it was on the Ripper last year, yeah. And we've decided to put it on the Ridge this year with the big wheels on it. We swapped the weights off one of the Steyrs and put on this Steyr. We had tips on that to put onto the Ridger here, and these do wear quite a bit, so it's important that you keep good tips on them, good side plates on them, the wings on them as we call them, and back plates as well, and that kind of keeps it down in the ground. So there's not really too much to it. We just had to check the pressure stay on the accumulators, didn't we, to make sure the correct pressure set on the boards that they do give, yeah. and the will auto reset on them. And yeah, so we've just changed the weights, changed tips, and that is ready to go. Now you have to be careful with this one too, because with the wheels there on it, we use the hydraulic top link all the time. So when you're folding it up, sometimes you can catch the mud if you're not careful on it, so you kind of have to let it back out on the top link before you fold it up.
Otherwise you'll have a nice tyre saying hello to the cab.
Yeah, we don't want that, Kaylem. No, we do not. All right. For some reason we have a tyre in the middle of the yard. Now I don't know how did it get there. Did it roll from somewhere? Did it roll out of off a tractor?
You know, someone tried to tell me it fell off the roof.
What size is it anyway? It's
this should be a 600 70/30.
And it's a BKT with one side war on it, so you probably, if anyone can guess now what that's off, fair play to you. Are we all ready to go?
Of course we are,
all done and dusted. Fan working?
Fans working, 4 speeds, and we've a good...
The seat has gone up and down.
We've a good seat in it now, it's holding air. She's ready for road, I think.
We still have one more problem with the 7A10 is that we have no gas in the aircon system.
Yes, but we'll get
that sorted. So hopefully Brendan there from Auto Air will come and gas them up now. We do need to check out some of the other tractors as well, because the gas sometimes can be low on them and it can work for a while, and then during the season all of a sudden it might stop working, so we just need to check that out. 7A10 is ready, 6920 is ready in John B, and 6930 is ready in Kaylem. So we're ready to go, ready to rock, just need the weather. So today we have Dermot from Metron, who has come down with our new welder. It's a 180C Speed Tech. Now Dermot, just give us a little bit of your background and what else, other services do you provide?
Well, we're from Metron Welding in Baldonnel in Dublin and in Ringaskiddy in Cork, and we are Lincoln Electric Ireland, and we supply welding equipment to manufacturing, maintenance, mechanical installation, power generation and educational customers throughout the country. So we provide equipment, training and service and backup on all of our equipment, as well as an extensive hire fleet throughout the country.
Yeah, well, I don't think we want any training with Marco here today, right. Because probably Marco could train
Nothing left to learn.
But we have Sean and we have Kaylem here. I know the lads do a little bit of welding there as well. And Mick, actually we have Mick's old welder using it at the minute, which is a Lincoln as well. And that's the reason why we went for Lincoln, because it stood the test of time with Mick anyway, so he says go for the Lincoln, so that's what we have. Now, it's a little bit lighter, isn't it? Just give us a quick breakdown on the actual...
Yeah, so the machine is an inverter, so the big difference between some of the older machines which are transformer based is that the inverter has continuous output of power. So if you make an adjustment from 101 amps to 102 to 103 amps, it is very, very easy to fine tune the machine. It consumes an awful lot less power as well. So it has a little green benefit there as well. Yeah. So it's lighter, of course, then, because it doesn't have a big, heavy transformer block in it then. So the idea with that machine then is that it's very versatile. It can be used for very light material, heavy material, and you can change it around from maintenance to small construction projects as well. When you're on MIG, the red symbols are what the adjustments that you're making are. So your voltage is what you're adjusting in red on the outside here. So you can weld up as far as 24.5 volts and down as far as 14. So we have this machine set up for 0.6 wire. So if it is very light material, bodywork or panels, you can run it down to 14, 15 volts. And then you can dial it in to make it as smooth as possible by using red on here, which is your wire feed speed. So that's your meters per minute of wire output. This adjustment over here, when you're on MIG, again, it's the red dial. This is arc inductance, which is going to pull the weld into the steel and make it more of a penetrating weld, or it's going to flatten it out and give you a wider weld. So this could be useful if you're doing super light panels. All right. If you have the machine set on to stick, all of the blue dials are now in function. So instead of voltage over here, you're running amperage. So when you turn it up on the blue, turn it to 120 amperes for welding stick, and then you also have a arc voltage, which is going to be a hot start, a strike. You get a bit more power when you strike your arc. And then this here again is a similar adjustment here, which is going to give you a soft or a crisp weld when you're welding with stick. So there are the adjustments. So 3 dials, and there's an on-off switch in the back, and that's
Can't go
everything.
too far wrong. Well, look, we're going to get cracking out here, doing a little bit of demo work on it and see how we go. So
Perfect.
I'd like to thank Dermot from Metron there to coming down, setting up the Lincoln welder. New pair of gloves now, Marco, so you'll be happy with them as well. Need to put them on. And yeah, look, we're just going to run a few tests there. We'll keep you posted as we go along when we have the welder out and working there. The lads have done a little bit of a DIY with there themselves, so might give it a shot myself, you never know. Thanks, Dermot.
What's up? No problem.
You won't get any spreading done here, Alan?
No, definitely not.
Problem?
Yeah, Darren went off the spreader on Saturday and he broke it on us, so we're here.
Yeah, well, we'll have to bring
myself and Mick fixing now. Jared from Midloud was out there as well. He put the loom into it.
So we have a problem here in that it wasn't recognising the set point on the screen.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Or the drop point, I should say. And for that reason then it wouldn't work. Now we did lose, it was coming and going, coming and going. We thought maybe we might have issues with fertiliser, maybe water. We didn't know what was going on. To have pinpointed down to this, what they call like a junction box here, where all the cables are, so it's a complete loom. We've checked all the fittings before that and we could see no moisture in any of them. But what they tell us is that that's like a black silicone that's in there in that box, and they've replaced it now with a blue silicone. Whether the colour makes any difference or whether it's done different, I'm not sure. But it obviously to prevent moisture and fertiliser getting in. Now, the question is always fertiliser, electronics.
Don't mix.
They don't go hand in hand in my terms. But that's not to say that this spreader has worked very well for us, and it is a great spreader when it's working. But when it's not working, and the pressure's on, and we're kind of trying to get fertiliser out. As you can see here, Mick is on his back here, light on as usual, looking up at, I don't know why you're looking at that, Mick, can you see?
Neither do I.
Nah, but
No, I'm just wrapping up cables.
But we have a complete new loom back on here, complete with, I don't know what we call that, electronic box of some sort anyway, where all the drop points and sensor points are going into. And we think that will, hopefully should solve it now. It's just a matter of getting it back on the tractor, connect up the isobus, connect on the power leads, and hopefully, she'll be ready to go. Are you confident there, Mick?
I'd say so.
You'd say so?
Well, everything was reading okay, by the way.
We had
and there's a new one
going
going on that.
We had a problem here with a weight cell too, which we fixed as well, was acting up a little bit. So we have a new weight cell on, which is, you can just kind of see it in there. It's like a double linkage.
It's up in there.
Yeah, in behind.
The old one's probably there in the ground.
You have a separate linkage coming onto this linkage here on the spreader, and that is the old one. So that's what the weight cell looks like. And again, I don't know, maybe just in time something does happen to them.
But we've had them go before on all the spreaders.
Yeah, so Mick is on the job. Also a big shout out to Ciara there from Midloud, who has come up there, drop of a hat, brought out weight cell with him and all the harnesses and the wires we needed there, and Mick and himself put them into it. Along with Alan here, who is just holding the tie wraps there, in fairness to him now, but someone has to hold the tie wraps as well, so well done, Alan.
And unfortunately, there's a pin on that. The bolt is stainless steel, but the pin is mild steel or toughened steel. But it came out first whack.
and they normally, I went in for a T-bar, see there behind you, and as I came in, Jared says we're sorted now, but I didn't go in for that.
Murphy's Law, Mick, isn't it? Murphy's
That's the
Law.
man.
That's the man. So now it's time for
Tips and tricks, tips and tricks.
So just before we get started with the tips and tricks, Kaylem here has one tip and trick of his own to show.
Yeah, I think so. So my girlfriend Ciara is fairly fond of the channel and everything.
Yeah.
And on Paddy's Day she decided to get a tattoo. Well, not a proper, like a real tattoo, but close enough. Tips and tricks.
Very good, and you'll probably just see that there now. Tips and tricks, we have Kaylem here in the reliable 7810 with a small bit of an issue here which is going to sort it out very, very simply.
Yeah, so the issue is I have a bolt hole here that the panels are all lined up on top, but the bottom, where I assume there's a plate that goes across, but I can't get it to line up. Like, you can get a screwdriver and easily line it up with a Phillips, but when I have the seat on and I'm using the bolt, I have another bolt there with I ground a wee bit of a tape on it first. I still just can't even catch it. I don't have the room to move it either. So what I've made up is this. So this is just a bolt where I've cut the head off it, and on the far side I've put it down into a real fine point. So what this will allow me to do now is I can push it way down into the hole, and if the two nuts lock together, I can use my ratchet and my socket to square it up. So put it the right way. And then I can try and get threaded down into it. Still not the easiest thing to do, but we can get it.
So that just allows you to centre it down into the hole, and to get your thread started, really, isn't it?
Yeah, so it'll just let me get it started, and now I can take the two knots off, and I have a stud sticking up, so I can just put a nut back on top.
Yeah.
And lovely job.
Perfect job. So this week's mixed mystery tool was in fact a mini oil dispenser. Is that the correct terms, Mick?
Well, precision, one drop at a time. If you want to do I'd say it's more for watches and stuff like that. But there are times, little tiny solenoids and that, it helps. Now you can put any liquid you want in there.
Yeah.
I've WD in it at the moment just to show it.
Right, well, so maybe we just demonstrate it first there.
Yeah,
before
screw
we
off
get
the
to
cap,
correct
stops
answer.
it leaking all over the place. And I'll turn around there, and when I press that, that's it.
Just one drop.
Yeah, well, you can keep it open.
Yeah. Mostly used where?
On very small air solenoids and that, maybe I'd use another time, but not a lot, to be fair. It was probably an unfair one.
It was a bit of an unfair one, but it's just Mick's last one for a while, so we wanted to go out with a bang. But anyway,
We did.
We actually had 7 answers, so we put the 7 correct answers. So well done to Larry Lynham, Casey, Colin Kelly, Mary Burrow, Greg Mooney, Nick Ennis, and Tommy Knightley. So well done to everyone there on it. Now, we did start off where in the world and where you were from there last week, and we got a lot of answers in here. There we Carl McNicholas from County Mayo, Liam from Trim in County Meath, Ricky Thompson from Manna, Jamie Smith, County Tyrone, Decal Sheds, County Derry, Choco Robert in County Cork, Colin Kelly in Mayo, Mick Gumeling, we think, in Western Australia, to Jack Brady, Kerry, to what's that there, Mick? Collie Sheridan in Armagh, to Sheehy Agri in Kerry, to Jared Gallagher in County Donegal, good Donegal name, to Mr 35 Mike in Longford, Paul Murphy in Carlow, Brian Cannon in Cork, Stephen Weir in County Down, Greg Mooney in Offaly/Dublin, not quite sure, Declan Conway in Kilkenny, Nick Ennis in Perth, Western Australia, and to Mark Frizzle in Donegal. So we have 2 from Mayo, 2 from Cork, 2 from Kerry, and 2 from Donegal. So let's keep them coming in there. We have it where in the world, as you see. The map is here. We'd love to get it dotted right around the world, and we'd love to see people maybe tune into our channel from everywhere that they can be. So quick shout out to Stu Buddle there, who's a dedicated fan from the Workshop Wednesday channel, who actually gave me the idea of where in the world people were from. And yeah, look it, I decided to take you on board there, Stu, so thanks a million. We have all our answers in, and don't forget get them in for next week. So that's it for this week's Workshop Wednesday. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the videos there, and comment what you want, and yeah, we will get back to you. So from everyone here in Finnegan's Farm, we'll talk to you all next Wednesday.